Now for our story. In Del Shipley's apartment in Chicago, a tense struggle was taking place. The struggle of a woman fighting against her own feelings of mother love, seeking to justify a decision to forget her baby son. It was a conflict between selflessness and the desire for personal gratification, as well as a conflict between two wills. On one side, the will of Aunt Mary Lane, who saw clearly the dangerous step Lisa Fenner was about to take. On the other, that of the young dancer in her despairing attempt to escape the past, which she herself had created. Now, Aunt Mary says gently,
I know how difficult it's been, Lisa. I know because I believe you do love your baby. That's why you went to Wakefield, begged Kit to give him back. That's why you were so miserable the day of the accident, when Randy rescued you from the river. But now you're closing your eyes, trying to escape. And you can't, Lisa. It's impossible.
It may seem impossible to you, Aunt Mary, but it's all I can do. I've promised Lance now.
But, Lisa, Lance is your child's father. You're deceiving him.
He'd never forgive me if I told him the truth. I don't dare.
You're trying to base your whole future on a lie, Lisa.
I can't help it. It's all I can do. I'm sorry, Aunt Mary. I've made up my mind, and I'm not going to change it.
Lisa, are you sure that's the answer you want to give?
Yes, I am. Quite sure. I thought it all out before I said I'd go back to him. It was the most difficult decision in my whole life. It cost me a great deal. But I did make it, and I can't take it back.
But, Lisa, that means it... I'll get it, Mary. Now, I wonder who at this time of night. Hello? Lefty. What? Oh, I guess you want to talk to Mary. Mary's right here, Lefty. Now, just a minute. Mary, it's Lefty. Here you are, Mary. Oh, thanks, Dale.
Aunt Mary, I think I'd better...
Just a minute, Lisa. Don't go, please. Hello, Lefty?
Aunt Mary? Say, for the love of Mike, what's going on? I just found out when I got home a while ago from Randy about you dashing off to the city all of a sudden.
Yes, Lefty. I made up my mind late this afternoon and took the next train.
But I don't get it. I've been worried.
You mustn't be, Lefty. I'll explain everything when I get back.
That's what I wanted to ask you. When are you coming home? Things are happening down here. We need you.
Well, what's the matter?
Peggy's been subpoenaed, Aunt Mary. She got the notice today.
Subpoenaed? Oh, Lefty, that means...
Yeah, that lawyer, Kit Calvert's, plans to put Peggy on the stand tomorrow. And you know what'll happen. The way he's been leading up to something. He's not going to pull his punches.
No, he's been trying right along to create a bad impression of that. Well, is Peggy awfully upset?
Well, I didn't see her. She and Lily were in bed when I got home. But Randy talked to her. He says she's pretty scared, and I don't blame her either. That fat-headed ambulance...
Now, Lefty. Won't do any good to get all excited.
Well, darn it, Aunt Mary. You better come straight home. Whatever you're doing up there can't be as important as what's happening here.
I'm taking the very next train, Lefty.
Now, that's more like it. Now, let me see. That'll get you in here about 10:30 in the morning.
Yes, just about.
Oh, gosh. Sure takes a load off of my mind. I know very well what'll happen when Farnsworth puts Peggy up there on that stand. We got a sample the other day when he cross-questioned Bill.
I know. Poor child, she... Lefty, tell her I'll be there for sure. You better meet me at the station. No, you'll be over in the courtroom with Peggy.
Yeah, Randy's going over too, of course.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, I'll manage somehow. I'll get there as soon as I can.
Okay, then. We'll be looking for you.
And, Lefty, tell Peggy not to worry. Good night, Lefty.
Good night, Aunt Mary.
Oh, Dale,
She went out to the kitchen, Aunt Mary. Is something wrong?
Yes, Lisa. I'm afraid something is very much wrong. You see, they're calling Peggy to the stand tomorrow to testify.
Peggy? But I don't understand. She has nothing to do with the custody.
No, of course she hasn't.
Well, then why?
The trouble is, Mr. Farnsworth, their lawyer, is determined to make it seem that she has. He's been insinuating that... Well, you know that Peggy and Bill at one time were practically engaged before he married Kit.
Yes.
Well, from some of the things he said, Mr. Farnsworth apparently wants to make it appear the reason Bill and Kit were divorced, well, that is that Peggy had something to do with it. In other words, he's implied that if the child were awarded to Bill, he'd be brought up by a woman who broke up the home. Oh, it's completely unfair. And you can imagine how Peggy feels.
Yes, of course. It's dreadful.
Yes, it's been a very trying time for all of us.
But Aunt Mary, I thought Peggy was engaged to marry Nicholas Dorn.
She is. But Mr. Farnsworth pretends to believe the engagement is just a ruse, a smokescreen. And it's all so useless, dragging Peggy into it, even from their standpoint. Because it's only too clear the child will be awarded to Kit. Lisa, how can you let that happen?
Aunt Mary,
Your own baby. When you know Kit, know the sort of person she's become. All those people going through this terrible experience. Bill believing the baby is his. Well, there's no use in talking about it anymore, since you've made up your mind.
All right, Aunt Mary. I see now I could never live with myself.
Lisa.
You're right. I tried to run away, but it's impossible. I've been trying to blind myself, but you've made me realize nobody can do that.
Nobody ever escapes by running away from something. Because you carry your conscience with you. You can't escape that. But if you face a mistake honestly and try to make it right, you can feel easy in your own mind.
At least I won't be living in a dream world, in fear and trembling all the time. If I'd gone with Lance... Besides, I do love my baby, Aunt Mary. I love him terribly. So, I'll come back with you and...
I've made some fresh coffee. Thought we could all use some by now.
Aunt Mary, please. If we're going, I wish we could leave right away.
Leave? Lisa's agreed to come back to Wakefield with me.
Oh, Lisa. I can't tell you how glad I am. I know how tough it's been, hon. I'm proud of you.
It's nothing to be proud of, Dell. But I would like to ask you a favor, if you don't mind.
Why, of course I don't, hon. If there's anything at all I can do for you, just name it.
Well, it's about Lance.
Yes?
He's downstairs, waiting for me.
You want me to bring him up?
No, I mean, not yet. I can't see him.
Oh, but Lisa, you can't leave the poor guy sitting out there expecting you.
I know, Dell, and yet if I see him again and talk to him, Aunt Mary, you understand, don't you?
I think I do, Lisa. It's too bad, though. He ought to be told what's happened. His life is involved, too.
I don't dare. I'm afraid he'd... Well, I don't know what he'd do. I can't go to him and tell him what I've done. I haven't the courage.
Well, Lisa, what shall I say to him?
Just tell him goodbye. Tell him I've gone.
Is that all? Don't you want to leave him a message? Why, he won't understand.
Then tell him whatever you like, Dell. Anything. It doesn't matter now. There's no way to explain. Aunt Mary, let's go now. I want to get started before I lose my nerve.
Yes, Lisa. But you mustn't be so unhappy, my dear. You're not running away anymore. You're going toward life, not away from it.
And so Aunt Mary's hurried trip to Chicago, her attempt to help Lisa Fenner understand what she must do, had not been a failure after all. Despite the discouragements, the tension and unhappiness of the past months, for the first time now there was promise of a solution. And more precious than anything else to Mary Lane was the knowledge that Lisa Fenner's baby son would be given an opportunity for the normal life he should have, the affection and security of his own mother's love. Now for our story. It was late at night. Dell Shipley stood at a window of her apartment above the Golden Peacock in Chicago. In the faint light cast by a street lamp, she saw the figures of Aunt Mary and Lisa Fenner emerge from an entrance at the side of the building, enter a waiting taxi, and speed away. Dell sighed, thinking of what that brief scene represented in heartaches and tangled human emotions. She was weary, for the events of the evening had been exhausting. But there was still something she must do. And throwing a light coat over her shoulders, Dell started toward the door, but paused halfway as she heard.
I guess I won't have to go down after all. That must be Lance now.
You're Mrs. Shipley, aren't you?
Yes, I was just going down.
Well, I'm Lance Fenner, and...
Well, come in, Mr. Fenner.
I'm looking for my wife, Lisa. She came in here a few minutes ago, and I don't understand what's keeping her. She was going to leave some keys with the janitor.
Yeah, I know. I heard someone prowling around downstairs. That's how I found out she was here.
Well, I'm sorry to barge in on you like this, Mrs. Shipley, but we're in a hurry. So if you'll tell Lisa to come on...
Well, now, hold on a minute, Mr. Fenner. Sit down, won't you?
Thank you. But we're in a hurry. We have to catch a train.
I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed.
Well, say, what is this? Where's Lisa? I want to talk to her.
Well, this is going to be a shock to you, Mr. Fenner, but your wife isn't here.
She's not? Well, where is she then? She came into this place half an hour ago, intending to be gone a minute. I've been waiting out front for her.
Lisa left here 10 minutes ago. She told me to tell you goodbye for her.
Lisa's gone? Oh, I don't believe it. That's crazy. Why, we're on our way to New York.
I know that, but Lisa changed her mind. I wanted to break it to you easy, but you haven't given me a chance.
Oh, I don't get it. Something's awfully screwy about this. Lisa wouldn't go
Well,
off.
now, if you'll sit down and listen, I'll tell you the whole story. Or some of it anyway.
Okay. I guess you'd better.
How'd you like a cigarette?
Thanks.
I know you must be all at sea. I don't blame you. But the fact is, well, Lisa's gone to Wakefield with Mary Lane.
Wakefield? Is that the Aunt Mary Lisa's talked about?
Yes.
But it's crazy, Mrs. Shipley. Are you trying to tell me Lisa just calmly walked out on me? Left without even saying goodbye? When we were planning to take the train to New York, everything was all set. Well, I don't believe it. Something's screwy around here, and I'm going to find out what it is. Lisa wouldn't go off.
It's not as bad as it sounds. I mean, well, I suppose it depends on you.
What do you mean?
I mean, Lisa didn't want to go off without saying goodbye to you, but there wasn't time for a lot of explanations. Besides, well, frankly, Lisa didn't have the courage to face you. Tell you.
Wait a minute, Mrs. Shipley. Just where do you come in? I've been wondering about you for some time. Ever since the first night Lisa and I got together. That night you phoned. Lisa's acted strange every time your name came up. You've been torturing that girl about something, and now you're going to explain to me about my own wife.
Now, look, Mr. Fenner. Why don't you calm down and let me give you the facts? Otherwise, you may say something you'll be sorry for.
All I know is you've been working against me. Against our going back together. I felt it. What makes you think you've a right to...
You're a pretty hot-headed guy now, aren't you? Well, I'll tell you something. You're all wrong. I haven't been working against you at all. Maybe it looked that way to you from the outside.
From the outside? I'm Lisa's husband.
I know you are. But whether you know it or not, you've been on the outside. In other words, Lisa's been keeping something from you, something she was afraid to tell you.
I don't believe you.
Well, you will by the time I'm through. If you'll ever let me finish.
All right. Go on.
Lisa went through her own private little torture tonight. She had to make a decision. And it was a darn tough one to make. Nevertheless, she did make up her mind. But she couldn't face you, tell you. Because she didn't dare. Now, I don't know whether you can take it, but she gave me permission to tell you the whole story.
What do you mean, the whole story?
Well, there's a custody suit. A fight over a baby boy going on in Wakefield. And a young man there in town is knocking himself out trying to get possession of this kid. He thinks the kid is his son. But the catch is, well, the baby isn't his. He's yours. Your own baby son.
My?
Don't you believe me?
What kind of a fairy tale are you handing me, Mrs. Shipley? I haven't got a son. Well, it's crazy.
Well, in a way, it's not surprising you don't know it. When you were running around there in San Francisco, having a fine time for yourself, I guess you weren't paying much attention to Lisa. You were flying too high at the time to worry much about your wife.
All right. That has nothing to do with it. Lisa and I went all over that. She's forgiven me.
Maybe she has, but that doesn't change what happened in the past. At that time, you hurt her a lot. And she thought you didn't love her. She was lonely and she was scared, and then she found out she was going to have a baby. And you'd walked out on her.
Oh, Lord.
So then Lisa went down to Southern California, to Malibu, and she stayed there with a friend, or that is, at least she thought it was a friend at the time. And finally your baby was born in Los Angeles.
My baby.
Mm-hmm. But that's just the trouble. There's no point in telling you all the details. You can get those later if you want to. But the gist of it is, Lisa was prevailed upon, persuaded to give her baby up.
To give him up? For adoption?
Yes.
But why didn't she get in touch with me? Tell me what happened.
Well, maybe because she'd gotten the idea somehow that you weren't very interested in her.
All right, but why did she give the baby away?
Well, because she thought she should, for the baby's sake. And secondly, this other woman managed to convince Lisa that she had no right to keep her baby. I guess I don't need to tell you the sort of person Lisa is, how easily she's frightened. She's the sort of girl who needs to be taken care of. And you see, Mr. Fenner, there was no one around to protect her.
Okay. Go on.
So she got taken for a ride. And she gave the baby away.
I can't believe it. It's not like Lisa. Give our child away.
She was alone, Mr. Fenner.
But how could she?
Well, before you get to feeling too righteous, it might be a good idea to remind yourself of your own responsibility in the thing.
I wish I had been given some responsibility. But all these months, if only she'd told me.
She was afraid to. She was afraid you'd hate her for what she'd done. That's why she wanted to leave Chicago, to forget the whole thing.
You mean she was just going to go away? Never tell me I had a son?
That's what she wanted to do, but she couldn't make it stick. For a while, she figured she had to make up her mind between you and the baby. But tonight she realized it wasn't a question of making a choice. She loves you. She also loves her baby. And she wants him, too. She has all along. So she's going down to straighten things out and to claim the baby.
Where's this trial being held?
Huntsville.
I see. Well, Mrs. Shipley, that's quite a story. Beginning to understand a lot of things a lot better. The way Lisa's acted. No wonder she's been nervous and uneasy. Our son. Well, at least I know what I'm up against now. And thanks for giving me the lowdown.
Well, I didn't enjoy telling you, Mr. Fenner. But it'll be in the papers, and somebody had to tell you.
Yes. Even if it's a little late in the game. Well, I'll be on my way.
Mm-hmm. And what do you plan to do?
Tell you what I plan to do. I'm going to get in my car and hit the road for Huntsville. Lisa's still married to me. And I have something to say about what she intends to do.
Del Shipley looked at the young man intently. There was a bitter, disillusioned expression on his face, and she wondered what it meant. What did Lance Fenner intend to do? Would he try to stop Lisa? Denounce her for what she had done? For deceiving him? Or would he understand the motives which had driven the young woman to make the tragic mistake which had brought disaster into so many lives? Now for our story. It was morning of the day Bill Meade's custody suit was to be finally settled. In a few hours, the child Kit had brought back from California was to be given legally into the care of one or the other of the claimants. Kit, who had attempted to use Lisa Fenner's baby as a means to restore her marriage, or Bill, who felt a sincere fatherly devotion toward the little boy he believed to be his son. But before that decision was made, the young woman Bill loves was to be submitted to the merciless examination of Kit's lawyer, for Farnsworth had subpoenaed Peggy as a witness. Now, while Lefty Larkin, Peggy, and her fiancé Nicholas Dorn drive to the courtroom at Huntsville in the Lane's rather shabby sedan, Lily Devon and Randy, Aunt Mary's son, speed along the highway toward Huntsville in the little pickup truck.
Well, Randy, won't be long now.
No, but the next few hours aren't going to be very pleasant.
I was thinking the same thing. Poor Peggy. She didn't get much rest last night. I guess she was having nightmares.
Really?
Yeah. She woke me up once talking in her sleep. I couldn't make much sense out of it. Something about Kit and the baby. And then all of a sudden she sat straight up in bed and said very clearly, as if she were reciting,
justice is like a fish. It slips away when you try to catch it.
She must have read that somewhere, and it stuck in her mind.
Well, it sure gave me the creeps, anyway. But she lay right down again without even waking up.
You know, it's funny when you get mixed up in something like this, the law and such. It makes you realize that you're not really a free individual, even if you think you are.
I don't get you.
Well, I mean, you go along minding your own business, doing pretty much as you please. Then some little cog slips, and you find out you're not just an individual roaming around on the loose. You're part of something 1,000 times bigger than you are. And there's no way to escape, even if you wanted to.
You mean whether Peggy wants to or not, she has to get up on that stand today and testify, because the court said she had to.
Yeah, that's right. And even though we'd all like to protect her, save her from it somehow, not a darn thing we can do.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way, but you're right. I only hope this whole deal isn't going to sour Peggy on things generally. She's had so much trouble over Bill Meade, I'm afraid she may sort of crawl into a shell.
No, I don't know, Lily. If you mean she may get bitter, defeated.
Well, you could hardly blame her if she did. But you never know. Maybe it would be the best thing. Once she finds out that being in love with someone just means a lot of grief and headaches.
Who said it does?
I did.
Oh, come on now, Lily. You don't really believe that, do you?
Brother, you should know how much I believe it. The best protection a gal can have is realizing you can't beat the game. You're bound to lose, so it's better not to play at all.
Still trying to convince yourself the only way to keep from getting hurt by life is not to live completely. Just sort of nibble around the edges.
Sure. I believe that.
You know, that's a pretty silly attitude for a girl like you.
Silly. Partner, when you say that, smile.
Sure it is. You're afraid to give in to your emotions. What are you keeping yourself on ice for, Lily? Or maybe I should say, who? Because sooner or later you'll meet some guy and fall plenty hard. Just as if you didn't have all these theories.
You're all wrong, chum. Not this baby.
Want to make a bet on it?
Why not? Anyway, look who's talking. I notice you're going your own sweet way without getting tangled up with anyone. What makes you think I shouldn't do the same?
Well, I don't pretend I'm going to go on like this for the rest of my life.
Oh, I see. You mean you're just waiting till the right gal comes along?
Yeah, something like that.
Sure you'll recognize her when you meet her?
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll know her all right.
And I gather you haven't met her yet.
Nope, not yet.
Well, pal, good hunting. Naturally, the girl will fall for you.
Oh, naturally.
Do you use traps or do you stalk your game for days and then you...
Well, I believe in domesticating the animal. I offer my hand in friendship. Let him learn to trust me.
Well, you better watch yourself. Somebody's liable to snap at you one of these days.
Oh, I'll take that chance. What's the matter, Lily? Don't you approve? You look so...
Let's skip it, shall we? Anyway, here we are.
Oh, yeah. Well, you better go on in. I have to take the truck over to the depot.
How come?
Well, Mom wired for me to leave it there for her. I'll walk back.
When does Aunt Mary get to town?
There's a train at 10:30, if she's on it.
Well, I sure hope she is. Let's see, it's 1:15 now. Court opens at 10, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you better hurry back then.
Mm-hmm. See you inside.
Yeah. I think I'll go on in and keep an eye on the Calvert gang, just in case they try to pull any fast ones.
Well, it's lucky the baby fell asleep, Kit. I think it was silly bringing him over. Lucy could have looked after him. Of course, I realize what Farnsworth was after when he told you to bring the child.
I should think that would be fairly obvious, Jessie.
Yes, and he's quite right, Kit. You look the picture of loving motherhood, the sleeping child in your arms. Really quite touching, if one didn't know any better.
Jessie, sometimes I wonder if you're capable of saying a kind, decent word. Heaven knows I don't expect much from you, but today I'm in no mood for your...
After all, Kit, you must admit it's rather funny you're putting on this Madonna act at the 11th hour.
You know perfectly well it wouldn't have occurred to me to bring the baby over if Farnsworth hadn't insisted. I only hope he doesn't wake up and start howling as soon as things get started.
Well, he probably will. But you shouldn't mind that. It'll give you an opportunity to demonstrate your efficiency as a mother.
Well,
Today ought to be quite an interesting session, at least from the standpoint of a spectator.
You're having a fine time through all this, aren't you, Jessie? Just so long as it's no threat to you.
It's been a pleasant change from the usual monotony. I don't understand, though, how Farnsworth thinks he can get away with questioning Peggy Douglas. She hasn't a thing to do with the case, actually.
Perhaps he thinks she has.
No. He's using it as a psychological weapon. Legally, I don't think he has any business dragging her into it. I don't imagine she's looking forward to it much, poor little thing.
Poor little thing. Poor, downtrodden little innocent. Oh, really, Jessie?
I marvel at you, Kit. I should think even your conscience would bother you, thinking what you've done to that girl's life.
Well, I assure you my conscience isn't bothering me at all. So far as the Lanes are concerned, I'm rather enjoying myself.
That's just what I mean, Kit. You're utterly ruthless.
I'm honest. How many people like their enemies? You don't, that's certain.
No. But I think the difference between us, Kit, is that I acquired my philosophy through being hurt. I didn't start out with it. Why, you've been this way all your life.
Have I, Jessie? No, there was a time when I was a youngster. Oh, what's the use of talking about it? This is how I feel now, and the way I'll always feel from now on.
Oh, here I see. The whole Lane clan. Lefty, Nicholas Dorn, Randy, even that nightclub girl, Lily something or other. Well, one thing you can say for them, they certainly stick together.
They're just huddled together for moral support. They know we're winning.
Come to think of it, they're not all here. Aunt Mary's missing.
No, don't worry. She'll come bustling in.
It's odd, though, the way she went rushing out yesterday. Ben thought she just couldn't take any more, but I wonder.
I wouldn't let it bother me, Jessie. Aunt Mary's bound to show up, especially since her darling Peggy is going to be examined.
Oh, here comes the judge. They're going to start.
As Judge Willoughby walked in, the crowd rose, ready to take the oath of allegiance to the flag, which would open the session. In a moment, Peggy would be called to the witness stand. Nervously, Randy Lane and Lefty looked over their shoulders toward the door, hoping to catch sight of Aunt Mary coming down the corridor with a calm, assured walk. Suppose she'd missed the train. They needed her wisdom and courage. But there was no sign of Aunt Mary as the last day of the trial began.